This won't be a 5-minute review. It's impossible. 10 minutes, impossible. 15, 20, impossible. 30, that's pushing it. 40, all right, that's some breathing room. That's because I have a lot to say about the SAM7. Stuff you have not heard before, probably. We're in the bunker. This is the Nutnfancy project. Thanks for clicking on the video. Yes, it is time to review the SAM7 series of AK variant rifles. Again, I have a lot to say. That's right, I'll start off with this. What does the internet tell me about the SAM7? What do they say? I'll generalize. I'll summarize with this. The SAM7 series of AK variant rifles, whichever one you buy, is the best AK variant rifle in the world. If you don't think so, then you are the problem. You're a newbie. You haven't shot AKs very much. You don't know. But just trust us. The SAM7 is the best, and we know it's expensive. We know it's heavy, but whatever. It's the best. If you don't own one, you own a hobby AK that will fail you. You're a doofus. More or less, that's what the internet says to me. I don't know if you've received the same message about the SAM7. In this bunker review, I will answer if that is a correct, a truthful assertion. I love the truth. I try to drive to the truth in my reviews. Truth, I say, stands the test of time. It cuts through hype. That's right. People can be pissed about truth. It doesn't matter. It will stand the test of time. Welcome to my bunker review on the SAM7. Really hot. It might be contrarian to what other people say about the gun. Slightly. I love contrarian viewpoints when I can put them out there, but get this, they're never gratuitous. My rail sessions are never gratuitous. I don't make any money in YouTube. No one does, really. I mean, you don't run ads anymore, maybe one or two, but you make crap in YouTube. It's horrible. I get all the gun videos demonetized. It's been that way for a long time. So there's really no profit incentive, but even when I did make ad money, I still wouldn't come out with just a gratuitously contrarian opinion. It was stupid. It's clickbait. And by that, I mean, you could take some gun that's like super popular, come out with a contrarian opinion. Let's say it's a SIG 226, and then suddenly you go, the Navy SEALs were idiots to use the P226. Clickbait. Guys are going to say, what's he saying? Click, watching the video. That went on for years. You guys didn't know that? It's easy to do. You go, well, what's the opinion about this item? Oh, everyone says that? Cool. Then I'll say the opposite and get clicks, views, money, ad money. Went on forever. Now, if it falls into place, the blocks stack up in a certain way, and I end up being contrarian to the internet, awesome. I love it when that happens, by the way. But it's honest. This GRV may or may not have those elements in it. Contrarian to what the internet says about the SAM7. I realize that a lot of y'all watching this video probably have a SAM7, and lo and behold, you may have listened to some of those other reviewers who said it was indeed the best AK out there. And you believed them and you went out and bought one. I will not say in this bunk review it's a bad rifle. You're not going to hear that. I will attack certain elements of it in comparison to the competition. I'm a value guy. Okay, that at my heart, at my core, I'm a value guy. I like stuff that is high value. I think that serves the broad purposes of my audience. It allows them to have extra money for other parts of their systems. Maybe it's knives, maybe it's watches, maybe it's other guns, maybe it's BOK supplies to put in that BOK, bug out kit. I try to stretch your money. Okay, so when I come across an AK that MSRP is for $1,450, I got an issue with that. And yes, there's a story behind that. Okay, a story behind it, and I'll broad stroke this. There's a lot of info that I could put out. I'll just broad stroke it. Okay, once upon a year, when the SAM7 was introduced, there's a bunch of hype. There was a video put out by Arsenal or Fime Group, and they're like, oh man, this is going to change the AK world forever. Whatever it was a lot of hype, and everyone's like, and gun guys just fall for this stuff. What is it with you guys? You just fall for it. Like, oh my gosh, there's going to be a new gun coming out. It's going to be the best ever. Everything else is crap. Thus started the hype. They put a lot of money into this campaign, and kudos on them. That's smart. They're marketing. That's what you should do if you're marketing your merchandise. You go, how can we market this? Oh, we're going to double the price of what guys are used to paying on their AK. We got to act like it's like magic beans, that it's something that heretofore has never been available. It had, but we're going to market it. Marketing is a perception in people's minds. Did you know that? It's not reality necessarily. Generally, it's not connected to reality at all. It's a perception in people's minds. How do you create that? Big video campaign. Building, I don't know, excitement, drama. They wanted me to be a part of that. Okay, that's the bottom line of this introduction. So they call me, Arsenal calls me, says, hey man, I want you to help us introduce the SAM7. I was like, cool, I don't mind reviewing that. At the time, I didn't have the association with Gunny's, the Great American Gun Store, from which I loaned guns, have for years. It was hard for me to get guns. It was expensive. And so getting an opportunity to review an AK variant rifle, cool, I'm up for that. So they kind of gave me the lowdown on what they're trying to do, kind of gave me a lowdown of what was happening with the importation. I won't go over all that. And they said, by the way, the price is this. I forget exactly, but I don't know, around, at the time, $1,350. And I was like, whoa, what? What did you say? It's like $1,350 for an AK? They're like, yeah, but their costs have gone way up. We kind of got to, the days of, $700 stamped SGLs is gone. We got to get people used to the new cost structure. And so this is what we're going to do. You want to help us? I said, well, I'd be more than happy to take a loaner to do a review. It's going to be an honest review though. And I will tell you right now, that's a very expensive gun. And for me to come to my guys on camera and try to convince them that this $1,300 AK variant rifle, I don't care if it's milled or stamped receiver, I don't care, that it's worth their money, I'm going to have a hard time with that. But I'll give it a fair shake, and I'll give you a good review, but that's a lot of money for a freaking AK. And then there's, silence on the other end. They're like, oh, okay, well, we'll get back to you. Long story short, they didn't want to use me.
So that's bad.
Because I'm not a homer, I suspect. I don't know for sure. Never heard from them. They're like, well, we're going to go, a different direction, I suppose. No loaner rifle was ever shipped to me through my FFL. That's cool. And I just laughed. I was like, oh, well, you can't control Nutnfancy, so Nutnfancy is dialed out of the intro. They went to other entities, I guess, that were more reliable. They could be counted on to dovetail into the factory hype on the SAM7. That wasn't me. Not to say that I wouldn't give a positive review, but there's certain things I got to say about the gun. Because if I lied about those things, this is all to me very interesting, then I'm kind of going back on my own philosophy that I've established for years, even back then. Right? I mean, TNP's been going on for 13 years now, and so I'm not going to roll whatever object in front of the camera and then suddenly backtrack on what I've told you guys. Like, oh, well, now this gun, this gun's an exception to everything I've talked about. No, I'm not a sellout, sorry. So I guess if I had said the right things, I could have been a launch media person for the SAM7, but it didn't work out because, like I said on the phone, I was going to say some negative things about this gun. Fast forward to present day. Here we are in the bunker. We are reviewing a SAM7. It is an independent review. It is not tied to any media campaign of any manufacturer or importer. All my reviews aren't. They're all honest. So yes, will it be contrarian? Probably. I may rail on a couple things. I reserve the right. I do. Now, getting that SAM7, how is that going to work? I didn't exactly go out looking for one. Okay, all I really needed to know was the price. I was like, oh, it's $1,400 AK. Whoa, I have like 10,000 things I'd rather review before that to my value-oriented audience. I will review expensive items once in a while. This is a $1,000 watch on loan from a friend. He's wearing my Golfmaster. I'm wearing this. It's a Hamilton khaki, limited edition, 50 mil. This is an expensive watch. I may review it. But it's just fun, you know, put it out there as an option to guys. But generally, most of my watch reviews, for instance, are well below $200 value. I have 10,000 things that I can review. I was never have been, you know, in a shortage for content here in the project. In fact, I have way too much content to post through the funnel, which is both the A channel, the B channel, and Patreon. How to get a SAM7? Well, I said, if one falls into my lap for testing and then review, double thumbs up, I'll do it. I'd love to put it in the playlist of AKs, you know, reviewed. I'd like to. And lo and behold, thanks to Nathan, the TNP Patron member, one did fall into my lap. He contacted me. He's like, hey man, I have a SAM7. I'd love you to review it. And what does Nutnfancy respond with? Great. Reviewing your guys' guns is a pain in the butt for me because I have to go down to Gunnies. They're my FFL. I got to get it. I got to shoot it quick. I can't do it. I got to expedite the review. I got to ship it back to you. It's just a hassle. So I don't like doing it because it's such an expense and a time investment for me. But on occasion, for a hard to obtain gun, I will do it. So I would like to thank Nathan for the SAM7. Thank you, Nathan. This is his gun. He is a TNP Patron member. Nathan, you rock. I will send this back to you as soon as I possibly can. You will get a gift in addition to your gun for your time and expense in helping us get this content. The upside to getting Nate's gun is that, again, I'm not tied to any manufacturer. I didn't have to go to anyone. A Gunny's AK selection is not great. I've been rattling the cage over there at Gunny's like, you guys need to carry more AKs. For a long time, maybe it improves. Here we go. SAM7 review. What are we into this? I don't know. A few minutes. It's fun though. All right. When I review this, I'm going to do what I normally do. A little bit on philosophy of use, a lot on features, a little bit on how it's shot, and then finally, you know, would I buy it, the SAM7? First up, there are different variations of the SAM7. Okay, this one is, or started its life as a regular SAM7 R68, I think, but Nathan has made changes to it. So these are his changes. So it has a different muzzle device on it, has a factory handguard, has an ALG trigger on it. He put a wood grip on it, and then he has a very different buttstock on it. Let's stop right there. Nathan, I do very much appreciate you sent the gun, but getting back to that integrity thing, I got to give an honest review on everything that I'm seeing on this gun, and I'm going to do that, okay? Let me read your letter first. So this is Nathan's letter. I'll try to be quick. Put it on 1.5 times speed if you're in a hurry. 1.75, I'll sound like a chipmunk. Nutn, thanks for accepting my offer to shoot my AK. This AK started out as an I'm sorry, I was wrong on the variation. Arsenal SAM7R-61. I added a muzzle brake, a new pistol grip, and an ALG ultimate trigger. RS regulate mount, burst low profile rings, primary arms ACSS, Raptor 1:6 optic, a Luth AR MBA -4 buttstock. That's what that stuck. The Luth, I've never seen it before. Round count is around 1,500 so far. Wow, it looks new. But he said 1,500 rounds. Okay. I plan on getting the receiver and bolt Cerakoted since the Bulgarian military paint they put on these comes off pretty easily. Interesting. We'll circle back to that. You can tell if you pull the bolt out. Oh yeah, he's talking about the finish coming off. I wish I had a wood forend to match the grip, but it would take a lot of sanding and fitting and work to make it work. The milled receiver AKs take different accessories, that's true, than stamped receiver versions do. Arsenal also has a different retainer ring than regular AK-100s. Gotcha. Last time I shot at the range, we had a strong wind blowing at us from behind. The scope should be zeroed for 100 yards. It was. Good job, Nathan. I was so glad to see that. With Wolf 123 grain FMJs. The optic reticle is supposed to be zeroed at 50 yards in order for the etch marks to match up. And then he says some other stuff. POU, home defense truck gun without rule of law rifle is what Nathan wants this gun for. In a WRL situation, I take this AK with me and also bring some 10-round mags just in case I need to take accurate shots while prone. I like the round 0 to 100 yards. Oh, I like the round. I think he's talking about 7.62-39. It's great at shooting through bushes, car doors, light cover. I too am a fan. I love 7.62-39 as an intermediate power cartridge. 1 to 300 yards, I feel is confident in engaging targets. 3 to 500 yards, realistically speaking, you'll never need to take a shot that out that far unless you're in Iraq. Okay, I agree with that. He talks about his distances he'd shoot at, what he'd realistically use this gun for. AKs are known for their reliability, low maintenance, and without rule of law, I'd probably be cleaning and lubricating this gun with motor oil. Nothing wrong with that. It'd work fine with that, although I imagine it would work for an AR too. Only downside in raw would be the ammo availability in the US. Okay, so that's Nathan. Let me start off with something negative. I'm sorry, Nathan. I said that already. I'm sorry. Okay, one of the concepts that I've alluded to, one of my rail sessions I may have alluded to is, what do I always say about SAWC? You say it's super important, Nutton. That's correct. It is super, super important. Size and weight constraints is perhaps right up there with reliability. You want it to be reliable, you want it to be lightweight, and you said in your philosophy of use you want it as a without rule of law, situation. That means, in my way of thinking, it's going to be a man-portable system, that you don't have a vehicle, you may be carrying this gun for hours and hours on end. You might have integrated body armor, you might have integrated food, first aid kit, water, and then you have, here it comes, a 10-pound, 2-ounce AK variant rifle. Dude, 10-pound, 2-ounce. And this, being a milled receiver AK, is already heavier, much heavier than a stamped AK rifle. I've done tabletop reviews before, and this is what I said about getting your AK to that level. In fact, I said that specifically. I said, if you're not careful, you're going to end up with a 10-pound AK. Let me go to a great comparison right here. A Russian-produced stamped receiver AK started its life out as an SGL-31, also by Arsenal. I called it the gold standard of AKs, and I'll stick with that. I still think it's the gold standard of AKs. It's fantastic. At least at its $700, $750 price point it was offered at back when I did the reviews. But here's ours. It's a cast member. It's in our personal systems. Cerakoted, Magpul, flat dark earth, wearing MOE furniture. Awesome. Set up with a simple red dot. I think that's just a TRS. Yep. RS regulate mount, just like Nathan is using. And naked, look at the weight. 7 pounds, what is it, 6 ounces? 7 pounds, 6 ounces, naked. That's in the ballpark for an AK. For that power of cartridge, that weight is doable. SAWC. When I get it going over 9 pounds, I start pumping the brakes. Okay? And that drives to the heart of not necessarily the things put on this particular gun. It drives to the heart, as I've said before in other tabletop reviews, of whether you need a milled receiver AK. And when we talk about how it's shot and accuracy, we're going to circle back to that and ask ourselves the honest question, do we need a milled receiver AK and all the additional weight it gives to our systems? There's good weight, there's bad weight. I've always said that. Is it good weight? I have answered that question before. We're going to answer it again here in the bunker. Okay, so here we have an AK without a magazine. Again, I can't remember if it's with or without a mag. I don't have my scale handy. It's 10 pounds. Just call it 10 pounds. And that's with a 1 to 6 power scope, bros. Okay, 1 to 6 power scope. That's too damn heavy, bro. That's too heavy. For a 7.62 39? I mean, if it's a Dragunov, okay, I can see it, but that's a more powerful cartridge. For an AK, a 7.62 39. I'm going to take a sapper. I'm going to take a 308 at that weight. My sappers weigh like 8 pounds, 5 ounces. That's with a scope. You know, my sappers are lightweight, and sappers, semi-automatic precision rifle in 7.62 51, a much more powerful, much more capable cartridge. You know, when I'm pushing that 9-pound limit, then I'm going to go, more firepower, 308. You know, if I'm pushing 9 pounds with an AR, I pump the brakes. I'm like, whoa, I'm doing something wrong with this rifle. Here's the deal, and I'm being honest. I've talked about this stuff in so many videos. So, Nathan, this gun is too damn heavy. Okay, it violates the principles of SAWC. It just does. Something's got to give. If you determine to keep the SAM7, maybe peel off that scope. You know, maybe peel off that RS Regulate mount, which is not lightweight. Maybe peel off this laminated wood grip and go with something lighter. I've said in my reviews for years, laminate wood is heavy. I know it's just a little bit of wood, but every ounce counts. This stock, we're going over features, by the way. This is features. What is it? The Luther MBA stock? I just detest it. It is hard to adjust. You'll see video of that. I was cursing it in the desert. I don't like it. It's like a precision rifle stock, and it's put on what is, I guess, your philosophy of use is a combat intermediate range. You said it in your letter. AK. Why do I need all this shit right here? This is a bunch of shit, a weight adding shit. You should have put on like Mission First, MFT tactical stock, something super light. It doesn't have this cool rollover cheek piece. I get that, but you have to make compromises. Okay, and I've made videos on this as well, when you choose an AK platform and you want to have the same capabilities of an AR style gun, you're going to add weight to the gun to get it to that level. There's no way around it. The alternative is just accepting the AK for the creature it was made to be. Okay, it was not made to have a Picatinny rail. We've given it a Picatinny rail here. I've done it with my own guns. It adds weight. I understand that. But 10 pounds, 1 ounce, come on now. That's too heavy. This stock, oh my gosh, I would literally take it off and throw it in the garbage. Now, what comes on the gun is a good option. It has, I believe, a 13.5-inch length of pull if you get the full stock version of the SAM7. It's a standard stuff we've seen. You know, it's a polymer stock, has a trap door in it. Stuff that was on the SGL series, I reviewed it. I don't mind it. The thing I don't like about the stocks is they have really tiny butt pads that are metal and they slide all over the place. You got to put some tape on them. I usually put athletic tape all around them. Get some traction out of the butt stock. Now, will you be doing a chin weld with this? Yeah, but some's got to give. You've got to make a compromise. You won't have this cool rollover cheek piece. And I think that's why Nathan went with this. He's like, well, I can see straight line into my glass. I get it. I get you. I really do. But this looks heavy to me. I didn't take it off and, weigh it because, one, it's extremely hard to take off, extremely hard to adjust. And I might not be doing it right. I really don't know. Hey, you should have done this with that. But, dude, if it's not intuitive, to me, a reviewer, it's a waste, man. It should be so simple. A buttstock to adjust like, oh, here we go. Beep, 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 done. No. Throw this in the garbage. Put something lighter on. But the buttstock that comes with it, okay. It is a milled receiver AK, therefore stamped components generally will not fit. You need adapters, you need specific sizing. A downside, another big downside if you ask me about milled receiver AKs. But they make parts specifically for them, Nutnfancy. I realize that. But there's more parts for stamped AKs from what I found. Now the pistol grip that comes on it is a standard, AK pistol grip that Arsenal puts on it. It's okay. It's a little bit small. It's kind of like a Warsaw style pistol grip. I would put something else on it, just not solid wood. The trigger that comes on the SAM7s normally is standard, trigger that we see in Bulgarian AKs. It's a double hook trigger. It pulls okay. Nathan replaced it because he didn't like it. Okay, and let's be honest. So this is kind of an important insight right here. You had a user go out and buy a very expensive milled receiver AK, the SAM7. And what does he do? And I'm not faulting you, Nathan, at all. In fact, I like what you've done here with the trigger. He puts on an ALG trigger on it. But that tells me something, that it's a good data point, that you had a user that did not like the standard trigger on the SAM7. So with all the reviewers out there saying, oh, the SAM7 trigger is so awesome, I wouldn't replace it. Here you have a guy that replaced it. And by the way, it's the same trigger I had in my SGLs. And what did I do? I did the same thing Nate did. I replaced them with the same trigger because the ALG trigger is awesome. It's a pain to install. It's a pain to adjust, but when you get it right, it's right. Pulls lightweight, shoots fast. I love the ALG trigger. It dominates the stock trigger in all the Arsenal guns. It's not even a contest. A point in bringing this up is this. Remember the price. You're paying $1,400 for what many would consider a Gucci AK variant, and you have to replace the damn trigger. Rail, nothing, rail, nothing, rail, nothing. I am railing. It defies imagination to me. And yet you have all the people on the internet like, this is the best AK. What would have made it the best AK is that it costs $1,000 and it has an ALG trigger installed in Bulgaria. That'd be awesome. No, we don't have that here. Instead, you have a user like Nathan going out and doing it himself. Sucks. All right. I'm not going to hammer on the quality levels of this receiver. They're amazing. It's a hammer forged receiver. They use a 5-ton hammer forge to do it. They say it takes them 5.5 hours to, hammer this sucker out, and then they mill it. There's your lightning cuts there. It's strong. I have no doubts about that. It includes an optic rail. That's not innovative. Every AK I ever review, mostly, includes an optic rail. Okay, it's there. But damn, dude, it's heavy. It's heavy. Remember what I said earlier about good weight and bad weight. What would good weight be with an AK variant rifle? That's right, that it shoots superbly accurately. And if there's any AK in the world that should shoot with superb accuracy, it should be this one, shouldn't it? So we have a very much touted milled receiver, AK, Bulgarian production, fine grained steel, super strong. It should shoot, 1.5 MOA. We'll get to that. Rest of it is standard AK. I'm not breaking inside of it because I don't want to ruin Nathan's 0. If I take this RS regulate mount off, then he's going to lose 0. That's another downside of AKs. I know, I've done it many times, and it shoots completely differently when you do it. The only thing I would say is if you get a SAM7 side folder with a hinged top cover, that might be better. And by the way, that's even more expensive. It's got a tubular buttstock. It's got an ambidextrous safety. I'm talking the SAM7 SF80, I think. It's got a PR3 pick rail on it. That gun does have a pick rail on it. It has ridiculously, though, an 8.5-inch barrel on it. And then it has, what do they call it? Like a gambit barrel extension to make it legal. So you're shooting an 8.5-inch barreled AK side folder, and then you have to, weld on an extension to it. So you don't get the ballistic performance of a longer barrel, and yet you have a longer barrel. That's just dumb. It's just dumb. It goes back to first cool. It goes back to, system capability. If you're doing it for first cool, you just, hey man, I love a SAM7 side folder. I like the tubular stock, the Bulgarian side folder, the MB safety, the hinged top cover, the pick rail, the peep sight that's on it. I've seen it in video games. I just want one. Oh, to be legal, I know it's an 8.5-inch barrel. I got to have this dumb gambit on it. If you raise the second cool flag, okay, cool. I get you. I'd much rather see you paperwork it and turn it into a class 3 and run it as it was intended with an 8.5-inch barrel short. Now you're onto something. Now you have an overall short package in that SAM7 side folder. Now it makes sense. You're like, okay, first cool and second cool. I realize that's time, that's money, that's expense, that's the legalities, putting your name on a list. You may not want that. I get all that. But there you go. I had to review that. So this review, of course, in the bunker will serve for the SAM7 side folder as well. So that's a receiver. Optics rail, cool. That's quality levels. I know it's quality. I got no doubt about it. There's your magazine area, standard AK magazine release. It's a standard magazine safety on this version of the SAM7. Wasn't particularly smooth. Wasn't horrible, but it's what I always see. It's just see inset video. It's normal. Normal. Not Gucci, normal. 800 meter rear sight, standard AK. 90-degree gas block, standard. The barrel with its cleaning rod, by the way, and a bayonet lug, which is awesome, but we've seen that on a lot of AKs I brought to table and bunker. Is super high quality, just over 16 inches, cold hammer forged. Chamber and barrel are chrome lined. In other words, it's the same barrel as you saw in this gun that I reviewed like 10 years ago. It's the same barrel, and I raved about the barrel quality then, and all that applies. I mean, it's amazing. It's skinny for a 30 caliber round, Not going to change what I said back then. It's skinny. Way skinny, but it's cold hammer forged. The Russians tie these in knots all the time to prove how awesome they are. I get it. It's cool. But let's go back to that milled receiver. So if we get a milled receiver and we get what is touted to be an ultra quality barrel, again, shouldn't we be shooting around 1.5? And by the way, I've shot stamped receiver AKs that shoot about 1.5 inches. I've had a couple 1-inch groupings, although they are outliers with various ammunition types, various situations shooting it. Standard front sight on the AK. This is Nathan's muzzle device. I don't know what it is. Now, when you order it, you're going to get a 4-chamber muzzle device from Arsenal on your SAM7. I didn't shoot that one. I shot this one. Here's more truth. I just didn't like this one. It didn't really mitigate recoil. I was complaining about it when I was shooting it. I was like, what's the purpose? This thing's recoiling as much as anything. I'd much rather put my AK-74 muzzle device on it. Now, those definitely reduce recoil. Quicker follow-up shots. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of this one, Nathan. Sorry, bro. I'm not. Again, no data on the original one. And cleaning rod, which, by the way, I take out. Just extra weight, more vibration. I don't need those. I left it in for testing. Standard front handguard. And, you know, in the day, Arsenal used to brag about, well, you know, their double heat shield line, they won't transmit heat. I'm sorry. I didn't find that to be the case. I didn't find it to be the case on my SGLs. I never have. These will heat up tremendously. They won't melt, but they can be so hot after you've shot, and I did it with this gun, like 100 rounds, that it's hard to hold the gun. So they brag about it being, you know, double heat shielded, you know, double aluminum liners, whatever they say. Yeah, whatever. What would make it better is a vertical grip. That would make it better, but they get hot. What am I missing? Oh, this is his scope. I hate to be so negative. There's a primary arms. He says Raptor 1-6. I think the optics range is perfect. I love 1-6. I like even more 1-8. I didn't really super love this scope so much. I thought, you know, the other ones that I've talked about are a little bit better. You know, the razors, I'll put some links below. Those razors are amazing for the money. I didn't weigh it. Maybe that's where some of that weight's coming from. Just my mileage, that's all it is. And he talked about those low-profile burris rings, depth features. Oh, yeah, standard sling loop right here on the SAM7. Okay, again, I don't want to be negative about this gun. This is a quality AK. I'm not saying it's not a quality AK. I want to be very clear on that. But it's a very expensive AK. Okay, and I'm going to hammer that over and over again. And it's a very heavy AK. And it's not just what Nathan put on here. It's heavy out of the box. Heavier than a stamped receiver AK. Good weight, bad weight. If it shoots super accurate, then we're onto something. Then maybe, just maybe, you can make the case of, hey, that weight is necessary. To me, more and more, I'm thinking milled receiver AKs are completely out of there. They make no sense to me because it's an intermediate range cartridge. For me, out to 300 yards, better to 200 yards, like I've always said, for me. If I want, you know, a 9-pound or more gun, again, I'm going to go to a sapper in my system. I would definitely go with like an AR-10 of whatever variety you want. There's AR-10s coming out now that are sub 8 pounds. And they shoot 1.5 MOA easy. I've reviewed a lot. Dig into my playlist. I'll put it in this video of, you know, sappers, 308 combat guns that you should consider. So milled receiver AK is thick, it's high quality, all that stuff. The innards are awesome. Again, I'm not taking it apart, but we won't learn anything by me taking this apart. Standard AK bolt, piston, normal. Good barrel. How does it shoot? Okay, well, let's take a look. So this is a variety of ammo. Out in the desert operationally. Okay, now on the paper, by way of admission, I wrote 100 yards. I was wrong. It wasn't 100 yards. I just kind of eyeballed it. I was like, oh, that looks about 100 yards. And I threw my laser finder on it. It's 144. So this is 144, not 100. But still, what we're seeing is standard AK accuracy. And by the way, these are all good trigger pulls. Did I write that? Yeah, all good presses, a variety of lows, 6 power on the primary arm scope, ALG trigger, so it's fantastic trigger, great stability, and I'm getting mediocre accuracy. You know, I think one of these groups was an SST. Several of them were actually. And I shot like 7 targets. I'm just going to show you a couple for time. 144 yards, I'll give you that. But still, you're looking at, I don't know, 3+ MOA. Okay, so here we go. Even then, I was given a squiggly. This is a Golden Bear. I did write this one down. Golden Bear. That's not a bad group out of an AK. That's what I would expect out of a stamped receiver. That's what I would expect out of a stamped receiver. There's SST. That's out of a good AK. I'm talking a really good stamped AK. I don't know about 144, but 100 yards, that will shoot 1.5 inches like all day. All day. And I have a lot of videos out there. You can go look at those videos. I show myself shooting in field. There's no trickery. 1.5 inches. Again, 144 yards. I'm not going to walk it all the way back to 100 yards. I had other guns that need to be tested. I came away very unimpressed with the accuracy. I did. It was ultra reliable. I had no failures of any kind, no stovepipes, no failures to fire, no light primer strikes. I love the ALG trigger just like I do on my own AKs. It shot pretty smooth, but standard AK. And for guys who say, well, a milled receiver AK is heavier, so it's going to reduce that felt recoil. You're going to get quicker follow-up shots. I didn't see it. You know, it might have been the muzzle device too that I, in my non-expert opinion, did not work that great. And that's all it is, a non-expert opinion. I really don't know if there's any experts on AK unless you're fighting a war with them. I'm sorry, I'm not impressed for $1,400. For $700, this would be a different review. If this thing was $700, I would still hammer on the weight. I'd go, oh my gosh, this thing is way too heavy. And it shoots okay. It's reliable, but it shoots like any other AK. But it's heavier, but it's like double the price. You know, if it streets at $1,250 to $1,350, oh my gosh. Now, what's going to happen is guys will see this review and they've bought the gun already and they're going to be pissed that I'm saying these things about their gun they spent a lot of money on. That's normal. Take a deep breath. Maybe Nathan feels the same way. I hope he doesn't. Maybe he does. Here's the deal. You can sell your SAM7 and get one that is lighter and probably more accurate. Sell it. For instance, I just reviewed this not too long ago. Here's a Palmetto Arms from the factory PSAC 47 stamped receiver AK. Much lighter. This is totally factory. The plum colored furniture, much better than you're seeing on this $1,400 AK. Do you see the problem? Do you see why I'm railing? So this is $1,400. We got the standard short AK that gives you no gripping surface, that is completely impractical in today's ergonomics. And this one is outfitted with MOE from the factory. And this one's like $700. Actually, it's less than $700. I think this is like a $600 AK. This Palmetto State Armory. It's amazing. Zukov folding stock. It's awesome. Here's a PSAC 47 with the stock folded. Look at the value. Look at the quality for the price paid. Like $600, $650. Plum colored furniture from Magpul. I don't have to replace the pistol grip here. Heck, I don't have to replace the trigger. It's excellent. I'm a trigger snob. If it sucked, I would have replaced it. I bought this gun. It's a cast member for exactly the reason you're seeing here, for comparison and contrast. Optics rails there. The finish quality is probably better than this Bulgarian. This is crap. Even Nathan was saying it in his letter. He's like, hey, it's peeling off. It's like paint. That's a normal user. It's not Cerakoted. Has a, I don't know, substandard trigger. You got to replace components on it. Did I mention the price? $1,400. Got the bayonet lug there. I took the cleaning rod out, like I said. You have an effective muzzle brake there, the AK-74 variety. Fantastic gun. I would way buy this PSAC 47 over a SAM7. I would. It's lighter weight. It's just as reliable. It's more accurate. It's more affordable. It looks cooler. It's more ergonomic. I don't have to do anything to this gun out of box. It's ready to go. Did I mention it's half price? Yeah. I already know what the internet's going to say. They're going to come back and you'll see a couple comments like this and they'll say, Well, I would never trust my life to a gun like that, Nutnfancy. You don't really know AKs, and you just need to shoot them more. That's not true. I know AKs good enough. I've shot thousands and thousands of rounds out of AKs for the project. I know a good AK when I see it. PSAC 47 was awesome. Riley Defense was awesome. Yeah, any number of other AKs are awesome, and I would choose them over the SAM7. Lighter weight, more ergonomic, better feature set, definitely more affordable. So to answer the question, would I buy a SAM7? I'm talking in factory form, not this modified one by our beloved brother, Nathan. Would I buy one? No, I would not. Not never. Even at $800, I wouldn't. I don't like milled receiver AKs, you know, and I reviewed in the day, I think the Century Arms C39 milled. I've reviewed a couple milled ones. What I would do is if you have a hard-on for going a milled receiver AK and accuracy is important to you, and it should be, go watch my Ace Galil, IWI Ace Galil review. That I would buy. That Ace Galil way outshot this gun. It was ultra reliable. It was like, if I remember in that review, that thing shot like MOA. With the SSTs, that thing was shooting MOA. Jardine and I were testing this Ace Galil. I'll roll in the footage and I'm like, holy crap, this thing's shooting good. Reliable, accurate, it's heavy. Heavy. More ergonomic than this. About the same price, I think. Maybe a little bit more. Those Ace Galils are pricey. But I would go with that. I wouldn't buy a SAM7. No, I wouldn't. The internet can believe what it wants to believe. And this review won't change anything. Guys that have it will contend always that this is the best AK in the world. That if you don't own a SAM7 or a Bulgarian or Russian AK, then you're wrong. And they will make the point, I think, they'll say, well, this is a lot more durable. This can go through thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds, and your other hobby AK will fall to pieces. Well, I don't believe that to begin with, but let's just go with that contention. That, okay, so you get a PSAC 47. How many rounds are you really going to shoot through that? Be honest. It's one thing, and I see this on the internet all the time, to say, oh, I'm an operator. You know, I shoot at 300 meters. I go through 4,000 rounds a year out of my AK. Do you really? I think the only people that really go through a lot of rounds in their AKs are competitors. So if they're competing, yeah, those guys go through a lot of rounds. Maybe then you can make the case for a SAM7. Then you go, oh, okay, it's ultra quality, it's forged, won't fall to pieces. Okay, I could kind of see that. The typical person who owns an AK, like Nathan, as he says in his letter, that's going to use it purportedly for without rule of law situations, he'll never go through 1,000 rounds. After he's broken it. He said he went through 1,500, but it looks kind of new to me. But most guys just don't shoot them. I think all the guns that I've ever reviewed here on table, they'll last easily 5,000 rounds, no problem, without parts flying off, without any, peening of the bolt or hammer. You need to shoot so much for that. Is it worth $1,400? No, it's not. Go into my AK reviewed playlist and find ones that I do recommend. And again, this is another Arsenal one. Again, this is a 545 Russian produced AK. I love this one, but it's lightweight. Stamped receiver. And by the way, this one shot 1 MOA. This gun did. It did. 545 supremely accurate. This is what I tell Nathan. Keep it super simple. I don't want a 9-pound AK. I just put a red dot on it. I've got an Ultimac on this particular one. I did keep the stock trigger on this one because I wanted it to be cheap and reliable. I just improved it ergonomically with the addition of the Magpul furniture. Zukov folding stock. Great gun though. And there's other ones out there. But if your AK goes over 8.5 pounds, you need to really think it through. Either shed weight or go with a different system. Hey, if for second cool, you say, hey, I understand what you're saying, Nut, and I still love it, love it, love it. It just fills my soul. Like Nathan, I say, rock on. I've got no issues with that. But in summary, my biggest issues with the SAM7 are it's not that accurate. Okay, from my own shooting, multiple outings. And I may tag some more footage at the end. If I find something out revelatory, I'll put it at the end of the video. I don't suspect I'm going to have any revelations. Not that accurate, super expensive, super heavy, not ergonomic. You're gonna have to add crap to it to make it right. And it's what? Street price $12.50? No thanks. Count me out, internet. I have other AK options that I will and have chosen. Lieutenant Colonel Nutnfancy, signing off.